harassment was discussed, and then I see that we had an employee had filed a EEOC claim subsequently after talking to you about the harassment. And I wanted to state for a matter of record that your obligation is to the village of Dixmoor, and to talk to employees about harassment suits, I don't think is something that should be discussed with you and that employee, because it looks to me as if it was encouraged for that employee to file that EEOC claim. And the bill states that also arrest records that were reviewed. As a FOIA officer of the village, that is the village clerk, nowhere in there does the statute give any right to the corporate attorney to look into arrest records of individuals. And I believe that arrest record was looked into by yourself as well as other FOIA requests. Those FOIA requests were sent to the clerk as the FOIA officer, and I have a concern to that, as well as several other things that's on the bill that was not authorized by the village corporate authorities, because the only ones that can approve any work or expenditure of funds is the corporate authorities by statute. And corporate authorities include the village president and the village board of trustees. So I see that there's several things that was not approved by the corporate authorities that exist on the bill. So that's why I'm asking that the bill be withheld.
Okay, just say, trustee, you wrote me earlier in the meeting asking about those same two things that I told you. With regard to the harassment claim, I have had no conversation with any employee about their harassment claim. I received a telephone call from an attorney who told me he represented an employee, and that is what's reflected on my bill. I frequently receive phone calls from attorneys regarding any matter involving the village of Dixmoor, because I'm the corporation counsel. I speak to them. That matter is now ripened into a charge of discrimination. I had no conversation with the employee. I have encouraged no one and would never encourage anyone to bring a lawsuit against a client. That is unethical, that is improper, that is probably illegal. I did not do that. I told you that earlier. With regard to the FOIA request, the clerk frequently calls upon me as corporation counsel to advise her legally with regard to what she can and cannot do with regard to FOIA. With regard to specifically the arrest records, there's a question of what information, certain confidential information, cannot be released to people. I reviewed those records to determine whether or not confidential information was being released. I determined it was not. I so advised the department. I don't know which items you're talking about that you say is not authorized by the board. I'm authorized to handle all matters before the board that have not been sent to someone else. I have to do that. I can't come before this board every time a motion is filed and ask to respond. I cannot allow the board to go into default while waiting to seek approval. I have to handle matters that I have been assigned or that have come up against the board. That's my job. That is what I do. When I came in here, there were a number of matters that were in default. I will not do that. And so everything on my bill that I put in detail is there. And if there are any questions about it, I want the questions we can ask now, because I know that legislative council's bill has been paid considerably more than mine. I also believe that I've been paid to look at the bill. And so if there are questions about it, I want them heard right now, because I want them out. Now, I don't want them in private. I want it out in front of the village. Whatever claims you have about the problem you have with my bill, go ahead.
The second claim that I have is in regards to a letter that you sent to me, which I'm asking for an apology. Number one,
Is this on the agenda?
You discredited my name you discredited my name as a matter of discussion. I'm asking, we're not taking a vote.
Okay, hold on 1 second, trustee. We're trying to keep things in decent and order. And okay, one thing that we were discussing about Attorney Bill. Okay, now these personal things about these letters and everything that you received, it has nothing to do with the finance report. Now, what you just stated that you did not want to pay his bill. Okay, and that's what we're gonna finance.
Okay, we'll leave it as that, to strike
Okay.
this bill from the bills list. I like a motion to strike.
Approved by the board.
Well, I'd like to make,
to the board of the whole to make decisions on, okay?
I'd like to make a motion to strike Attorney Hubert Thompson's bill from the bills list.
Second.
Discussion, any more discussion?
So what was the recommendation, because I missed it? Recommendation for, at the meeting on last week,
Recommendation
that you already.
is to withhold his bill. There's items that, according to statute, according to our ordinance, the village attorney cannot act on his own. He does not have that authority. By statute, he doesn't. It has to be the corporate authority giving him directions. He's not the mayor's personal attorney. He represents the village. He's the village corporation council, which means the village entails the corporate authorities, which are defined in statute by the village trustees and the village president. The village president just cannot make an expenditure of funds without the corporate authority. Neither can the corporate authorities, one trustee, make an expense without the board.
Okay,
So
trustee, do you
I-
have an understanding of what was recommended?
Oh, yes, I understand the recommendation that, they want to strike the, corporate bill.
Okay. So.
Now, the question is that now who did give him that authorization to check into, this information?
Well, you just told me that it's a corporate.
Right, it's just,
That's
it comes from the,
And it's due to
The
responsibility.
only two things that I've heard that trustee Michael Smith has raised on my bill, one, a FOIA request that the clerk called upon me. In fact, the clerk of the police department called upon me to question with regard to whether or not it turned those bills over. I reviewed those and gave her my opinion. The other thing had to do with a communication I received from an attorney representing an employee of the board, raising some issues about arrest. I responded to that attorney. I had nothing to say with it, and have never had a conversation with the employee. Those are the only two matters that I know of that, and trustee Smith raised those matters with me in writing last week before the meeting. And I responded to him in writing before the, finance committee.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Corner,
no.
trustee Davis, trustee Michael Smith,
Aye.
trustee Benita Smith,
No.
trustee Roberts,
Yes.
trustee Levine.
No. Corner, Davis, and Is that correct? Corner, Denise, no, is that correct?
Motion carries. Moving forward, hold on. Now I need a motion to pay the bills. The bills of the $178,079.80. A motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by trustee Corner,
I'll second.
second by trustee Levine. Roll call.
Trustee Corner,
Yes.
trustee Davis, trustee Michael Smith,
Nay.
trustee Benita Smith,
Yes.
trustee Roberts,
All but the one bill with,
Yes or no?
Thompson. I gave my answer.
Yes or no? We either go pay the bills or we not. Yes or no? They didn't ask for explanations.
Well, I gave that.
They didn't ask for it. So there's no vote abstain.
It's not abstaining, it's what I said.
There was nothing. You didn't say yes.
No.
trustee Levine.
Yes.
So we have 4 yes and 1 no.
Motion carried. And so, at this time, we're going to do Public Works and Water Committee. Trustee Fitzgerald Roberts and Superintendent Hubert Darby. Oh, yes, sir.
There was one other issue.
Oh, wait, whether or not they're gonna be paid stipend for that? I didn't hear anything you want to address.
Yeah, Mayor, if I can address that, I provided the trustees with the first quarter financial statements, budget, actual comparison, budget to last year, but there is a bill that I assume that there's some urgency that was sent to me last night, I believe, by trustee Smith, Roberts. I know I got two emails.
Trustee Roberts.
Yeah, from the west side. Yeah, from the west side tractor, yeah.
About the
yeah.
backhoe.
For the backhoe for $19,000. That was sent, and I did have the opportunity to talk to Superintendent Darton about it, but I assume they're looking for $10,000 down on this backhoe to build the $19,000. And again, that the quote basically says that it's $19,000 without breaking the tractor, breaking the backhoe down. So it could go substantially higher. Superintendent Darton did let me know that that's $100,000 plus piece of equipment. And I know they have had to rent since then, because I got a bill from Pickletrue today, I guess, where they had to rent it for a backhoe for a couple of days, which was $800 to rent it. So obviously it's a matter of not just if we can get it fixed. Obviously we have to get it fixed, but it's just, again, one of those things that kind of is unexpected and outside the budget, and I assume I'm gonna get a call this week about can we get it fixed. So it wasn't on the bill list. I was just given it last night, so I'm not sure if it's something you guys wanna consider or discuss, but certainly discussing it would do no good, considering Superintendent Darton is here. And maybe he can address any questions that you guys have regarding it.
Well, the thing about.
Okay, hold on one second. So this is about the back home, are you looking for us to add it to the bill list, or this
Well, yeah.
discussion,
It's
or refer to the finance committee?
It's actually a proposal to get it fixed, and I'm just saying, and certainly a bill of $20,000 that I'm not gonna make a decision to get fixed or anything, so the finance committee won't meet for the next 10 days, and I assume, I'll let the superintendent.
That's what I'm sitting in the corner.
I can speak on
I
that.
peeped that.
The backhoe's been down for the last 3 months, okay? It's been sent from shop to shop. Now, what we need to do is make a decision if we're gonna get this thing fixed, or we're gonna trade it in on another one. I mean, we can't keep operating without it. The thing is that every time we need we have an emergency, either we're gonna give it to Calumet City Plumbing, or we're gonna do it ourselves and rent a tractor. So in the long run, you're gonna spend $20,000 within 2 or 3 months. So, the way that I do things, I feel that it's better to have your own than to keep leasing them or whatever. So this thing is paid for, we need to put it in the shop and get it fixed.
Trustee Janita Smith?
So his recommendation is that we, get it fixed and not trade it in. So I would make the motion that we pay for this to have it fixed. That's, I'm approving this proposal. I'm making a motion to approve this proposal.
Second.
Okay. The motion has been made by trustee Janita Smith and seconded by trustee Jared Ronald to approve the proposal to get the backhoe, repaired at $19,000. Roll call. Discussion?
Superintendent, have you gone out to several other vendors, and was this the cheapest vendor for $20,000?
Yeah, basically, we sent it from 2 different shops, so this is it. This is the bottom line.
Trustee Roberts? Oh, okay. Roll call.
Trustee Corner,
Yes.
trustee Davis, trustee Michael Smith,
Aye.
trustee Janita Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Roberts.
Yes.
Trustee Levine.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion is carried. Accept the proposal. Anything else for public works?
We have the day in the park tomorrow. We've been working diligently to get the park in order, so we have all of the speed bumps in place for the kids. bids and, ready to go. Okay?
Anything else? Trustee Brown?
Moving forward, at this time, we have the Police and Fire Committee report, congratulations. Oh, there it is.
It's kind of mixed up.
Oh, this year, but anyway, Police and Fire, Committee, trustee Janita Smith and trustee, Fitzgerald Roberts, trustee Levine. The chief is not here tonight. Do you have a report?
We don't have a report, there is a record.
John Thompson.
I'll turn it over to,
Mr. Thompson?
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, citizens. Quick report on, our 2014 CDBG grant. We are holding a pre-construction meeting next week with the county. They're gonna set up the time and, what time we'll have that meeting with the engineer and, get that started so that we can work on our water and sewer breaks as fast as possible. The Wyman and Gordon East Side, SSMMA has approached us and they have interested parties, in our Wyman and Gordon area. We have a large interest in the whole property. And I had said before, if we maintain our property, they will come. And they have a good company that's interested and it's a reputable company. So that's something we're just discussing at this time, and how this will manufacture or come to fruition, we will know until the future, but it will be brought before the board to make their decision and to review everything before it happens. The second part of, we have, 2015, in your package, I think you will see that we have been awarded $200,000 for our CDBG block grant program that we applied for. That's for street. It's for patching, paving, storm sewer replacement, curbs, gutters, handicap accessibility, ADA compliance, and infrastructure repair, sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and whatever we need to do as far as infrastructure is concerned. And that we will also be requesting a resolution to accept that grant, possibly by the next council meeting. Board meeting, excuse me. Trustee.
Okay, hold on a second.
Last but not.
Again, it's your decision on the consultant. I just don't want that tied in with my insurance premium. I don't wanna finance a consulting.
Well, to be frank, actually, when we negotiate with the carriers, one caveat is, we take a look at the police department. That's why your rates went down.
Is that we spend the 20.
I'm sorry, sir.
The insurance premium is 145, but the only way we're gonna get to 145 is if we spend the extra 20.
No, sir.
You just recommended we spend the 20.
For the police assessor, yes, sir.
But is that a condition upon us renewing the premiums at 165?
No, sir.
That's all.
You can do the 145, and walk away, however.
No, I understand, I understand it's your recommendation we do it, but we just got a recommendation to repair a $20,000 backhoe too, and in a small town like us, 20 here, 20 there, they'll start.
If I may say this, the problem with the not doing it now is that, this has been something that we constantly recommend always, and we're telling the underwriters that you're gonna be doing it, and then it never gets done, and then we can only tell them, go back to the well on that issue so many times.
Okay, trustee Michael Smith?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the program of the Owens Group, including the RAM program for our police department, for the insurance, so that we can be on track and get our village in correct standing. So I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, discussion. I do not have a problem with running a program, as we have just stated, that we need our backhoe for $20,000. And we're not getting that much revenue in here, you know, to make this, we're not getting that much revenue in here. You know, everything we, you know what we're going through, so, I mean, if we can do it later, we can do it, but right now, we can't afford it. Not right now, but if this is something you want to incorporate, you want to go before, so in the future, when we get the money, you can move forward with it, I'm okay. Yes,
Now,
trustee.
if we do this 20,000, later, well, if we accept them later, will we also get, the same amount, or will it increase? That's what if we don't vote for it this evening, is there going to be an increase?
Naturally, they're gonna tell you no.
No, the price that's there of 145 is the price of 145. The 20,000, I'm
Is
sorry.
that going to, right, if we do not, vote for it this evening, will that increase if we wait another 2 or 3 months from now? Is that gonna change?
Don't worry about it. I know times are tough. I was a police chief for a long time. Don't worry about it. If anything, it'll come down a little bit.
If I may suggest this, just hearing your concerns, Mayor, as an alternative, understanding the issue with your backhoe, and that certainly is something that needs to be taken care of. Perhaps if you would, consider approving it and then staging the activities, say about 3 months from now, and that way that'll give some time for the finances to catch up. But at least it'll be approved now, that'll be the story that we can tell the underwriter, because they really were expecting the.
Get it in
That's
writing.
what I was saying, that if, well, winter is coming up.
Yeah.
We have our water main, but we have to prepare ourselves for that. So we don't wanna commit and say, oh, in 3 months, we're gonna have to spend this $20,000, and we may not have it. So then what will be the consequence of that? If we don't have it, in 3 months,
Or.
because that's going into our winter time.
Or to approve it now, and the activities can be done with a payment at a later date. But just to address this issue, because what happens is that this issue, just the whole year goes past, and it's just very difficult to get this back teed up, and on the table.
Okay, trustee Michael Smith.
Right now, we're just gonna call the question, the motion that's on the floor.
Okay, but we was trying to get clarity after we had done this second, so, everybody clear about what's happening with this $20,000?
I could vote, yes, in agreement to do it, but I don't wanna vote for it today because we don't have the money. I don't wanna commit to something we may not have the money in 3 months. But, we can do it in the future when we do have the money, but to vote on it now and make a commitment to, 3 months, and if we don't have the money in 3 months, then what do we do? So I would go along with the 145,000, and at a later time, we can vote on the,
Okay, trustee
You said to make payments?
We can schedule the services, in the course of the year, and such that, you set aside maybe a quarters of the payments now, and another quarter, and another quarter. But schedule it so that, the start of the services coincides with when you anticipate completing and having the money available. So that it gets done within the first half at least of the policy year.
So within 6 months, at least have $10,000 paid.
Yeah, and then you start the services, you've got the $10,000 set aside, and then that way, upon completion of the services, and this report being presented to you, the way it works is he'll do all the interviews and conduct all the interviews, and then, bring it before you in executive session and present it. Because obviously this is a document that deals with, confidential issues.
Trustee.
now,